What if you could trade your boring 8 hours of sleep for a series of short, strategic naps, and get back 4 extra hours of productive time every single day? That's 28 extra hours a week. It's like adding a whole extra day to your week. For the last 2 weeks, I've been sleeping just 4.5 hours a day, swapping my normal sleep schedule for a polyphasic one to see if I could find some kind of superhuman focus. This is the unfiltered story of my experiment, and whether it turned me into a productivity machine or just a sleep-deprived zombie. Introduction. The what and why. So, what's the deal with polyphasic sleep? Most of us are monophasic sleepers. We sleep in one long chunk at night. Polyphasic sleep, on the other hand, means breaking up your sleep into multiple, shorter periods throughout the day and night. Think of it less like a long-haul flight and more like a series of connecting flights to get to your destination. There are a few pretty infamous schedules. You've got the Huberman, which is 6 20-minute naps for a wild total of 2 hours of sleep. Then there's the Dimaction, with 4 30-minute naps, also just 2 hours. I decided to try something a little less nuts, but still a huge challenge: the Everyman Schedule. This involves a main core sleep of about 3.5 hours at night, plus 3 20-minute naps spread out during the day. Why would anyone even attempt this? For me, the answer was simple. I needed more time. I felt like I was constantly running out of it. Between work, my own projects, and trying to actually see my friends, 8 hours of sleep felt like a total luxury. The idea of gaining all these extra waking hours was intoxicating. Was this the ultimate life hack? Or was I about to play a dangerous game with my health? I set up a 2-week experiment to find out. The rules of the challenge. The plan seemed straightforward enough. For 14 days, I had to stick to the Everyman Schedule perfectly. That meant 1 core sleep from 1 a.m. to 4:30 a.m. Then, 3 separate 20-minute naps at 8 a.m., 2 p.m., and 7 p.m. My grand total of sleep per day would be 4 hours and 30 minutes. I set so many alarms. I warned my friends and family I might be weird. I prepped the coffee maker. I felt ready to biohack my way to a new level of productivity. I had no idea what I was in for. The journey. Week 1. The zombie apocalypse. The first 2 days were powered by pure adrenaline and the novelty of it all. It felt kind of cool, waking up at 4:30 a.m. and watching the sunrise with this smug sense of superiority. I got so much done before most people even thought about hitting snooze. The first couple of naps were strange, but I managed to get through them. And then day 3 hit. Waking up after my short core sleep felt like being physically peeled off my mattress. My brain was wrapped in a thick, heavy fog. I felt like the world was moving in slow motion, and my reaction time was a joke. I'd find myself standing in the kitchen, staring at the open fridge with no memory of why I opened it. I was in full-on zombie mode, which, it turns out, is a common side effect of the adaptation phase as your body enters severe sleep deprivation and your cognitive function just tanks. By day 5, I was a mess. The 20-minute naps felt like a cruel joke. Just as I'd start to drift off, an alarm would scream me back to consciousness. I was groggy, irritable, and honestly, pretty emotionally unstable. I could feel my body's internal clock, my circadian rhythm, just completely freaking out. It wasn't just being tired, it was this deep, full-body exhaustion. Chronic sleep deprivation, which this schedule guarantees at first, carries serious risks, from messing with your mood to impairing your judgment. My productivity didn't just stall, it fell off a cliff. Simple emails felt like climbing a mountain. My social life, gone. My schedule was too weird and rigid to see anyone. The turning point. So, at the end of week 1, was I a superhuman? Not even close. I was a zombie, shuffling through my days in a haze. I was moody, unproductive, and I was seriously questioning if I could, or even should, continue. The promise of more time felt like a total scam, because the time I gained was foggy, low quality, and completely useless. But a part of me is stubborn. All the online forums and stories from polyphasic sleepers talk about this brutal adaptation phase. They all say you just have to push through it. So, I decided to stick it out for 1 more week. By the way, if you're finding this journey into self-inflicted misery interesting and want to see more experiments like this, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe. It tells me you enjoy this stuff and want more deep dives into human optimization. The journey. Week 2. A glimmer of light? Around day 9, something shifted. It wasn't a sudden burst of energy, but it was something. I woke up from my core sleep feeling okay. Not great, but not like I'd been run over. The brain fog started to lift for short periods. Then, during my 2 p.m. nap, something wild happened. I fell asleep almost instantly and woke up 20 minutes later feeling genuinely refreshed. It was the first time a nap actually felt like it worked. Now, proponents of polyphasic sleep claim your body adapts and learns to cram restorative REM sleep into these short naps. But the science on this is really shaky. In fact, recent research indicates that on these schedules, your sleep stages can get jumbled, REM sleep might slightly decrease, and your body almost completely stops releasing human growth hormone, which is critical for recovery. So even though I felt refreshed for a moment, I was likely just running on fumes. In that second week, I did start to have these pockets of intense focus. For 2 or 3 hours at a time, I felt incredible. My mind was sharp, ideas were flowing, and I was just crushing my to-do list. I was finally getting a taste of the benefit I'd been chasing. More waking hours, and some of them were actually useful. I wrote, I planned, I organized. It felt like I had found a secret level in the game of life. But it wasn't a total win. These productive windows were followed by periods of deep exhaustion. And the schedule itself was incredibly fragile. If I missed a nap by even 30 minutes, the whole day was a wash, and I'd spiral right back into that zombie state. It required a level of discipline that felt almost militaristic. The results and the verdict. So, after 14 days, what was the final verdict? I tracked everything. Over the 2 weeks, I gained about 50 extra waking hours. That's more than 2 full days. In terms of productivity, I'd estimate my output dropped by 50% during that disastrous first week. But in the second week, it probably jumped up by 30 to 40% compared to my normal baseline. So, after all that, was it worth it? For me, that's a hard no. While those moments of hyperproductivity in week 2 were amazing, they came at a huge cost. The first week was one of the most mentally and physically draining weeks of my life. My health felt like it was taking a hit, my mood was all over the place, and my entire life had to revolve around this rigid nap schedule. Research consistently shows that chronic sleep deprivation can lead to a long list of health problems, including high blood pressure, anxiety, a weakened immune system, and even heart disease. The truth is, extreme polyphasic sleep isn't a sustainable long-term strategy for the vast majority of people. Our entire society is built around a monophasic schedule, and fighting that current is exhausting all on its own. While a few people might have a rare genetic makeup that lets them get by on less sleep, for the rest of us, it's a recipe for burnout. I went into this experiment looking for more time, and I definitely found it. But what I learned was that the quality of your waking hours is so much more important than the quantity. What good are 20 hours of awake time if you spend 15 of them feeling like a zombie? My advice to anyone thinking about this? Don't do it as a long-term strategy. There's no credible scientific evidence that it's good for you, and the risks are significant. Instead of trying to sleep less, maybe focus on improving the quality of the sleep you're already getting. This was a fascinating, if brutal, look at my own limits. It really showed me just how vital sleep is for our brain, our mood, and our overall health. But here's the surprising part. While extreme polyphasic sleep was a bust, the experiment did unlock one secret to my sleep that I've taken with me, and it might shock you. I'll be revealing that in my next video. If you enjoyed this human guinea pig experiment, please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's next. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever tried to hack your sleep? What's the craziest thing you've done to be more productive? Let me know in the comments below. And now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go sleep for 8 glorious, uninterrupted hours.